get paid.
There goes another letter we have to write.
Oh, no. We got to make sure the doctor get paid. Doctor got to get paid. So we can all get paid. Okay. So let's see here. Okay, so let me share the book over here. Let me pull up another share because I'm not able to slide like I want to. Slide right. Okay, so let's see here. Okay. I'm going to turn my camera to me so I can talk so they won't be like, who is this talking? Okay. Bleeding. Okay. So, what kind of bleeding? Gastrointestinal? Okay, gastrointestinal, 92.2. Okay. So, remember, bleeding is the main term when you're looking for it in volume 2 in the alphabetic list. Okay. Then we're going to find the subterm of the main term, which is gastrointestinal. So we're going to go K92.2. So let's look at that. K92.2. K92.2. Okay. Gastrointestinal hemorrhage, unspecified. Okay. So that's broad. Gastric hemorrhage, not otherwise specified. Intestinal hemorrhage, not otherwise specified. So it's a broadly used code. We can use that. Okay, so hemorrhage, bleeding, same thing. Okay, so K92, so it doesn't, so right here, the red dot where it has K92, right here, that means that it needs a 4th digit. So you have your alphabetic, you have your 2 numbers, okay? And then you need your 4th digit, which is the 2. It gives this specificity of that code, okay? All right, so that is the code for the first part. Now, what is Ms. Harper going with this? Gastrointestinal bleeding due to. Does everyone see due to? Yes. Okay. Okay, so diagnose gastrointestinal hemorrhage due to acute enteral ulcer. That says duodenal ulcer. Okay, enteral. Let's find out what enteral means. Ulcer, enteral ulcer. See ulcer, which is stomach. Now you're looking at acute gastric ulcer with hemorrhage. You're looking at K25. The combination code K25.0 reports both the acute gastric ulcer and the hemorrhage. So no further code is required to report the gastro hemorrhage due to acute enteral ulcer. But enteral is a different term.
Maybe not.
Okay. Okay. So I understand what you're saying. Yeah, exactly. Acute, maybe not. Okay. Now, exclusions. Let's look at the exclusions here. Okay. Acute hemorrhagic gastritis, acute anus and rectum, angiodysplasia, diverticulitis, gastritis and duodenitis with hemorrhage, peptic ulcer with hemorrhage. So if it's speaking in any realms of these exclusions, then we cannot use these codes with that. So let's look at, I know what you're saying, Chris, but hold on just a minute, okay? So let's go to the term ulcer. So let's go back to the second page, I'm sorry, volume 2, and let's look up ulcer. Did y'all look up ulcer?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hold on. Okay, you have to play around with your words. And it's going to tell you look up disease. Okay. Okay, ulcer and acute duodenal. Let's look up duodenal, duodenum. Okay, duodenal. Okay, so it says eroded or peptic with hemorrhage, K26, and perforation. Okay, that's also K26. And then, right, hold on. And then it says duodenal with or acute. So the word acute is in front of duodenal and is under the main condition ulcer. So we're under ulcer. We're looking up duodenum or duodenal, which is right there. And we're looking up acute. Okay. So it's in the K26 category. Are y'all looking at this? Hold on, I'm going to catch up with them.
You're looking at acute.
So you have to find the term ulcer. Mm-hmm. Okay, now find duodenum or duodenal. Okay, now it says with hemorrhage. Now look at the word with. Now you're looking at the main term is ulcer. Subterm is duodenum or duodenal. Now we're looking at subterm of the subterm. Okay, so we're looking at with. What's the next subterm of subterm? Acute. Do you see acute? Okay, so acute. So we're going to put that all together. Acute, then go back up, duodenal. See how that makes sense? And then ulcer. You see that? Okay.
So it would be 26.3?
So it'd be K26.3, but we got to verify it. So we got to go look it up and we got to verify it. Okay, 26.3.
It doesn't say acute.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, never mind, it does. Without.
26. Okay, so K, duodenal ulcer. Okay, so acute ulcer with hemorrhage. Hemorrhage is bleeding.
So it's not right. It's not 26.3.
Okay. Okay, hold on. See, hemorrhage. Okay, so it would be 26.3. You're right, Chris.
No, that was actually Brenda.
Oh, Brenda.
I was just speaking out loud.
You were speaking out loud for her? Okay, all right. All right, so you were her, she's the software and you were the voice of the software? Okay. Okay, I like that. Okay, so let's look at this. Acute duodenal ulcer with both hemorrhage and perforation. So it doesn't say anything about perforation up here. It says hemorrhage. This says K26.1, acute duodenal ulcer with perforation. Doesn't say that. But K26.0 does says acute duodenal ulcer with hemorrhage. Okay, so now this includes erosion of duodenum ulcer, okay, post pyloric ulcer, use additional code to identify alcohol abuse or dependence. So it's not talking about that at all. So K26.0. Okay, so due to. So let's entertain this for a minute. K26.0. Now, all right. Can you see this? Okay, great. Now, this is acute duodenal duo, we're going to shorten it, with hemorrhage. Here we'll abbreviate that. This one says gastro bleeding. Okay, now we can negate this and use just K26.0 for acute duodenal with hemorrhage, since it is talking about the bleeding in the intestinal area. The duodenum, when you have the stomach and you have the fundus, this is the fundus, and then you have the esophagus, and then right here, where the esophagus starts, the small intestine, then it goes the large intestine, and you have this appendix, and then out your anus, okay, where you do number 2, okay? Now, right here in the small intestine, and it anchors back around, okay, then you have your appendix, okay? Right here is the duodenum, duo, D-U-D-O-D, duodenum, okay? That's right there at the opening of the stomach. So you can say, as this part, gastro, which is stomach, intestinal, which is this, small intestine, okay? Bleeding due to duodenal ulcer, okay? It's all connected. It's all connected. It's not talking about just one spot, okay? Now, sometimes the ulcer can start in the stomach area and proliferate onto the duodenum, jejunum, and then the small intestine and on down, okay? So we can use this as a broad diagnosis code, and that's a wrap. Are y'all getting that? Because it covers all of this. Are y'all getting this?
So are you saying that we can use K92.2 as well?
Yes. Well, no. K26.0. What is K92.0? Yeah, you can. I'm sorry. You can use that. Now, here's the thing. You can use this, and that's a wrap. That covers everything. But now, if you're one of those coders that you're not sure, but you theorize and analyze your coding methods to get your trends down, it's real important in coding and with your EOBs that you study your coding trends and what works. Once you get down what works, you stick with that. Okay, and you understand their coding guidelines for what works. Some insurance companies, according to CMS, is the foundation knowledge of all the coding guidelines. Okay, but some CMS, some insurance companies, commercial insurance companies, will make room for things to make it payable, if that makes sense to you. So what you asked, Chris, was a very valid question. You can use this, and that's perfectly fine. That means you're a person of great detail. You want to make sure, you know, that you use both codes, so they can't say, well, we're going to pend it for this reason, or we're not going to pay it for this reason. You know, I'm like, no, you got both of them. Pay me my money. Or if you know you've done this one code and you're sure of it and it works, study your EOB trends. What's paid, what's not paid, and write your notes. It's very important. So yes, either or is fine, but this is justifiable. Does everybody understand that? Now, this doesn't always work when you have due tos. Sometimes when you have due to, you're going to have a code for this, and you're going to have a code for that. So that means you're going to have two codes, just like this. Okay? If one does not overshadow for the other, if one does not speak for the other. Am I making sense?
You're making perfect sense, but how would you know that the K26 is broad?
Because it's speaking of, let's look at the K26, okay? It says, read that to me.
Acute duodenal ulcer with hemorrhage.
Okay, acute duodenal ulcer
Yeah, I guess you're right.
with hemorrhage. Yeah, hemorrhage coming from the stomach. Okay, remember you have to think like that show, Good Doctor, that's coming on tonight. Yeah, isn't that coming on tonight? Okay, The Good Doctor. That's one of my favorite shows. I wish I could record then. Okay, now you have to picture in coding. You have to picture the physiology of the bleeding in the gastro area and where the duodenum is, the jejunum is, and the small intestine. If you picture it just right, it's all kind of together. The only thing is that the duodenum and the jejunum is the mouth of the small intestine. But what's proliferating it? The ulcer from the stomach, but it's affecting the duodenum. Are you seeing what I'm saying? You have to use your imagination. Remember in kindergarten, here we go, kindergarten again. I can't help but go back to kindergarten. In kindergarten, when you read a book, you have to use your what? Imagination. I love foundational learning because it helps us in our adult learning. Okay? Am I making sense? Okay, great. Fantastic. Okay, did you have any other questions? Okay, great. Brenda, how you feel? You got it? Okay. How you feel, Tasha? Okay, fantastic. All right. So we studied the anatomy and physiology. Anytime when you're doing coding, when you're doing billing, when you're getting the EOBs back and you're trying to understand how come this is not making sense in the coding world, and you have to look back at the documentation. Remember, billers and coders, it is not your job to go in there and make any addendums, any corrections in the SOAP notes. That is for the physician and the nurses to do. You can point it out to them. It is your job to point it out to them and to write them a lovely note to say, hey, y'all need to correct this or make an addendum to this, okay? But it's not your job to go in and do that. They are supposed to go in, either add to or correct, put their initials in there, circle their error, cross it through, and put the date that they made the correction. Why? Because the SOAP notes is legal and binding, and if it gets subpoenaed to the court, you being the medical records clerk, documentation clerk, you being the CPC, CCS person, or RHIA to RHIT, and you have to bring that to court, you're going to have to give an account to who did this, and it better not be you. I have to talk like this. Okay, now let's move on to number 3. Okay, let me put the answer back up here. Did we say K26? K26.0, or what was the other one? K2. Okay, fantastic. Okay, and you can mostly use that one. Okay, Tasha, read me the third one.
Acute and chronic.
Okay, hold on. Acute, okay, and
Chronic.
And chronic.
Cholecystitis.
Okay, baby, you got to spell that to me.
CHOLECYSTIT. Yeah.
IS? Mm-hmm. What else?
L after the T.
Okay, no L after the T.
Yeah.
Like that?
Yeah, with CHOLE LIC
L what?
LIC HIASIS.
SIS. Okay. So in other words, this sounds like a gallbladder kind of problem. Okay, so let's kind of erase around this so don't be confused.
Would this be two codes?
Possibly, yes. Yes. So we are speaking of, I'm glad you asked, Chris. We are speaking of acute and we're speaking of chronic cholecystitis with cholelithiasis. Okay, so wrong one. Right here. Inflammation, okay, and IASIS or ACEs.
No.
Well, kind of pertaining to, but it's talking about the condition. Okay, all right. So very good. So let's go to inflammation. Inflammation. The condition is inflammation. Well, it's talking about the condition, but we have to define what exactly that suffix is speaking of. I'm not for sure. I have to go back in my medical terminology to remember what condition, what condition is speaking of. But let's go to inflammation. Okay. All right. So it may have right here when it says with, it's going to mention this anyway, or at least it should mention this. Uh-oh. Should mention that. What do you find, Tosh? Acute and chronic. That's odd.
That's why I thought it was two codes.
Could be. Could be.
Is it? Okay, for acute, is it K80.60? No. K80.66.
Okay. Okay. All right. You say K80. What is it?
0.66.
0.66. Okay. And what is that? What is that saying? I mean, for what terminology are you saying?
For acute and chronic cholecystitis.
It has both of it in there?
Well, it goes acute and then with, chronic.
Okay, so let's verify it. acute with chronic.
What did you start off looking at?
What was your method? What did you use?
I looked up the one with the itis on the end, and then from there it told me to look up calculus, and then from calculus it's like calculus or gallbladder. I looked at calculus since I was already with C. From there I went to acute, and then it had a little like space bar with.
Were you under the main terminology inflammation?
I was under. It sent me to calculus, and then from calculus continue right here.
Or was I supposed to start from the front of it?
Oh, maybe this one. K80.4.
Okay, so hold on, let me look up inflammation. Inflammation. Right up in here. Since we don't see it up in here, okay. So you did the right thing. Calculus, but let's see something. Color. CH.
That's what I did.
CH. Oh.
Right here.
Okay, so you looked up cholecystitis. Okay, so normally, okay, very good. Hold it right there. Normally, you would look up under inflammation, but since we didn't find it under inflammation, because that's the first thing you would look. Again, in coding, you have to kind of play with your words, but you have to start somewhere with the condition of the disease. Okay, it is an inflammation. Okay, so we went under inflammation to try to find cholecystitis. Wasn't listed there. Okay, so now you have to find the next thing instead of other inflammation. You find the term itself. Sometimes you may find it under the term itself. Sometimes you may find it under the condition of the term. Okay, inflammation is the condition of cholecystitis. Okay, but since it wasn't listed there, then you have to kind of play around with your words. So the next place you would have to look is cholecystitis. Okay, and is that what y'all did? Is that the steps that y'all took? Y'all went under.
Well, yeah.
Okay, did y'all find inflammation? Y'all didn't find inflammation?
No, we found inflammation. We didn't find
the term.
the term.
Okay, so since you
That's
didn't.
why I asked her how she find it.
Okay. Since you didn't find the term underneath there, then you will go to the word itself. Okay. Sometimes if you go to the word itself, you're not going to find it. You have to break down. That's why you have your medical terminology and you have to break it down. Okay. So she went under cholecystitis. So did y'all go under cholecystitis?
Not since she said.
Not since she said that. Okay. Very good. Okay. So let's look at that. Very good, Natasha. Okay. So cholecystitis. Where is that? K81.9. Did we put that on the board? We have K80.66. Okay. What was it again? K what?
81.9.
81.9. Okay. So let's go and verify. But hold on. Let's look at this.
Because we didn't look for.
Yeah. Okay. So with calculus, blah 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 blah. Okay, acute K81.0 with blah 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 blah. Okay, chronic. Here we go right here. Acute. See how that angles?
But we need it with this word,
Right.
not that word. This one.
Okay. 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 So let's go to calculus. So let me see where they are. Hold on. Do y'all see it?
What word again?
Okay. Go under cholecystitis. Are y'all verifying it? Are you looking at it? Okay. Go to calculus. Look at that word. That last ending of that word. Chases. That last ending of that word.
What do you mean?
The color like chases in your phone.
Oh.
Go under come down where it says cholecystitis.
Yeah.
Okay, and then it has acute.
K80.42.
And then it says with chronic lystasis. Now, what is that other word? What does it say it means? What does it say? All right, so let's look at K80.46.
That's what I'm thinking.
You stopped thinking?
I said that's what I was thinking.
That's what you were thinking? Okay, very good. K80.46. K80.46. I'm trying to remind myself. K80.46.
That's totally off.
Totally off?
with that one's without. Wait, no. It's the same thing. Right? Oh, yeah, it says the exact same thing.
Okay. But this one is more calculus. I would go more with the K81. And under K81, I would go K81.2.
Yeah.
It says acute cholecystitis with chronic cholecystitis. It doesn't have the cholelithiasis. I'm trying to get the correct definition of that. Okay. CHOELIASIS. Meaning. Okay. I would use K80. Well, I would use 81.2. Yeah, I would use the K81.2. I can't get this meaning here, and I have to figure out what is that meaning. So I might use this one. I would use, what did that say, Tasha? K81.2. Okay, because it speaks of acute and chronic. Okay. The last ending of that other one, I have to get a more definitive meaning of what that's talking about, so that we can get a clear understanding. But are y'all getting the basic premise of how to look up codes and how to differentiate? And again, you're not going to always get codes at 100% perfection. You're not. You're going to always be 1 or 2 digits off.
Also, it's common to get it rejected and sent back.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
That's why I'm sitting here. I'm not really stressing when I'm thinking like, geez, man, how many mistakes goes on? But it's common.
But it's common. I'm glad you said that. Perfectly said.
I'm not stressing no more.
Good. Perfectly said. It is common. The only thing is, as I said before, you have to study the trends that work. Okay? Because what is this, 2018? If it works in the year of, let's say, November 1st, 2017 to October 31st, 2018, if it works well, you can still kind of try that trend again for November 1st, 2018 to October 31st, 2019. If that same code kind of reads same or similar, and they still paying it the same at the insurance company, then you got yourself a working system. You have to understand how the system works in order to do your job efficiently. Yes, sir.
But you also said a couple weeks back, when you start working for a doctor's office, it's pretty much going to be using the same codes over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
what we're doing here is it's not like really what we're doing. We're looking for an array of different codes from everything from the beginning to the end of this book.
No.
We work in a doctor's office, then they just deal with the stuff. So
Right.
That's what we're doing. Stuff.
Right. If you're working for a gastroenterologist and you're a biller and a coder for a gastroenterologist, you're going to be working just with those particular K codes.
Yeah.
You might work some other codes in between, but that'll be kind of rare. But your realm of coding will be diagnosis coding will be within the K section. Mm-hmm. And then you have to also study your trends of your CPT codes. But don't take it for granted that it's going to be like that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You have to pay, you still have to yet pay attention to detail. Mm-hmm. But I like what you said. Yes, it is very common. You may make some mistakes. You have to study your EOBs, your explanation of benefits, and you get those back.
That's also like when you sit there thinking, like you really got to pay attention. Like they're gonna, I make messed up on the code fire.
No. You're as long as you correct it and you get your trends. That's the key to billing and coding and working at an insurance company as a claims examiner is understanding your trends. Once you understand your trends, you pretty much got it. Okay, everybody got that? Okay, fantastic. Okay, so now we're going to kind of speed dial it here because it's almost lunchtime in a little bit. So I'm going to move it along and to other stuff that's going on in chapter 6. It's still talking about specific coding guidelines. So I think, let's see, what page is this? 145? Okay, 146. Okay, now it's talking about diseases of the skin and subcutaneous tissue. Okay, the skin on your body is the largest organ of your body. Did everybody get that? The largest organ of your body. Okay, so if y'all play Jeopardy or Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, that's the answer. Okay, now let's look at this. Pruritus bulbae. Pruritus bulbae. Okay, Tasha, I want you to spell that out for me so I can put that on the board. I'll make this number 4. How you spell that? P-R-U-R-I-T-U-S. And then vulvae, B-U-L-V-A-E?
Yeah.
Okay, and this is dealing with the skin. Okay, all right. So, maybe let's try this term first. Vulvae. We have the vulva, which is in the vaginal area, and we have vulvae.
The vulvae ain't that plural? Singular?
I'm not sure. But let's look at it. Let's see. Lovely. Google is your friend. Ooh, my battery's going low. P-R-U. Bulbae. B-U-L-B-A-E. Okay. Is itchiness of the vulva. Mm. Mm.
I'm not doing that.
Vulvae may be plural,
I
so
think it's plural.
it is plural. You're right. Okay, so itchiness of the vulva, which is the counterpart of the pruritus scroti, and may have many different causes. Patch testing may be used to diagnose the cause. Okay, let's look at possible diagnosis here. Technology is a beautiful thing if you use it correctly. Love it, love it, love it.
Brenda found it.
Brenda found it. Brenda. Listen, Brenda. Listen. Scrotai, okay.
So that means scroll me.
Yep.
So would that be jockey?
Could be. Yep. The causes. Causes of it, symptoms is underlying condition more often than it is a primary condition. Vulvar irritation can be caused by many moisture left on the skin. The moisture may be perspiration, urine, vaginal discharge, small amounts of stool. It may be caused by vaginal infections, vulvaritis, HPV infection, anal incontinence, Bowen's disease, or dietary irritants. Treatment is with antibiotics, which can lead to a yeast infection and irritation of the vulva. So, ladies.
That's the female version of jockey.
Oh, pretty much. Okay. What did you find, Brenda? L. L29.2. Okay. Very good. Did y'all verify it?
Yes.
Okay. And is it true?
Yes.
It is true. Okay. Very good. What did you say, Natasha? Ditto. Okay. She agrees. Okay. Fantastic. All right. So, okay. You see, you got it in there already. Prickly heat. Let's look up the next term. Prickly heat. Y'all are doing good. Y'all are doing really good. So if I give y'all a coding test and time you, you should know how to find stuff pretty easily. Is it prickly P?
Without the time test would be great. Without the time part.
Without the time part. Okay. All right. We'll see. But in reality, you have to do so many codes a day, so many charts a day. If you're going to do coding, you have to do, if you have billing, and depends on how big that practice is, you have to do so much billing per day. L74.0? Okay, Tasha says.
It seems like there's more to it.
It is? L what now?
74.0. Is that what you got? Yeah.
Okay, did y'all verify it?
Yeah.
Okay, and what did you get, Tosh?
Malaria rubra.
Okay, is this speaking the same thing? Oh, that's the term for it? Mm-hmm. Okay. Malaria rubra. Okay, very good. Okay, so we went from stomach to skin. Okay, so now we're moving on to the next area, which is the musculoskeletal system. Very good. And we're still in chapter 6 of the step-by-step book. Okay. Now, it has official coding guidelines for coding and reporting. the musculoskeletal system, coding of pathologic fractures. Pay attention to that. That's on page 153. This is part of your discussion question. Okay, well, it's 153 in our 2018 book. What page is that in your book? 163? Okay. Yeah, so you have 2017. Okay. So it gives the coding guidelines for pathologic fractures. Pay attention to that because that's part of your discussion question. Okay, so I did talk about it a little bit on the discussion thread. So look at that. Look at some other materials that'll help you understand more about that. Okay, page 153. So is this your book, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm going to bend this page and we're going to come back to that. Well, let me bend it this way. Come back to it. That way you can come back to it. Okay, now let's go on to page 154. Disease of the musculoskeletal system. Rheumatoid arthritis. Oh, rheumatoid arthritis. Mm-hmm. R-U-E-U. Am I spelling it right, Tasha? Rheumatoid, O-I-D, arthritis, right?
Yeah.
A-R-T-H-R-I-T-I-S. Okay. All righty. And the next one says pain in neck, right? Pain in the neck. All right. So, arthritis. Let me plug up my phone. Because it looks like she's getting ready to punk out on me.
Is it M06.9?
Did you look up arthritis or you looked up the word?
I looked up arthritis. Yeah. But she said look up arthritis.
Found it.
Found it?
Yeah. It says rheumatoid. So it would be good. Yeah, 06.9. There's nothing else.
What time is it? Oh, lunchtime. Okay, so y'all are free to go to lunch. Oh, okay. So y'all are free to go to lunch, and we will resume when we come back.